Come on, go away. There we go. Preparing to load your datas. Oh, actually, hold on a second. Let's see. We can get a PlayStation controller to sync to this. So I would prefer that. It's keyboard and mouse, personally.
Aristocratic etiquette is all just for show. Just smile and nod along. I was forced to learn all of the rules by heart, but even I don't take them that seriously.
Alright. That syncs it to it, right? Should. And I should be able to. Theory. Let's see what we got going here. Alright, well that's, I guess, not gonna work right now. Let's see what we got here. this thing over there. Feeling fussing with the thing. So let's just get to doing things. It sounds like the better option. 27. Just gonna hold off for a little bit. What I wanted. That button. Okay, that's the shrine quest we picked up last night.
Knights and aristocrats share the same cultural heritage, but the knights had enough set.
It's into the tea house.
Well, now that we're here, where's Toma? Oh, Paimon doesn't see him anywhere.
Who forgot their promise? I was beginning to think you'd forgotten about me.
What? Is that dog talking to us?
Relax, no need to look so surprised. I take it this is the first time you've seen me in this form? Huh. So you didn't see anything like this when you were in Liyue Harbor?
Ah, now that you mention it, this does suddenly seem less out of the ordinary.
I know I talk when I see one.
Alright, I've had my fun.
Hey, you're this close to getting an ugly nickname, mister.
Oh, Paimon, calm down.
Well, I've had some time to kill, given that I've been waiting here for you for so long, as was the case in Rito. So I came up with this little fun greeting for when you arrived. But in all seriousness, I would like to apologize about that little test you went through earlier. Though it was quite necessary. It helped us determine whether or not to bring you before Miss Kamisato, and whether you had the courage to face the lightning alongside us.
Don't think that Paimon's gonna forgive you just because you're getting all serious.
Yeah, shut up, Paimon.
Sorry, did I overdo it? My apologies.
How do we do in our little
Let me
test?
just say this. You've often found yourself skirting the rules from the very beginning, haven't you? Naturally, this is due to your unwavering and resolute determination. A long time ago, we had a friend who was much the same. But when the lightning struck...
He died in a duel for the throne.
Ah, so you've heard of his story. His light still burns all the more brightly.
We're allowed to meet the Shirogasi Higani.
Yes, of course. I will bring you to the Kamisato residence where the Yashiro Commission is
I
located.
butchered the hell out of that name.
But before that, there is one other place I was hoping you both would accompany me to.
Oh? Where?
I would like you to come with me to the statue of the omnipresent god. It's still under construction now, but you can already see it from practically anywhere on Narukami Island.
Boop-a-doo. Back out we go. Oh, that's the commission. We're doing commissions right now. I love these sound files and the bridges and stuff. So good.
This area sure feels gloomy. People probably don't come here often, do they? Huh? Are Paimon's eyes playing tricks? Or are there things embedded in the statue?
Visions.
Visions? You mean all the visions that are collected from the Vision Hunt Decree are put into the statue?
So you've already heard of the Vision Hunt Decree?
Why did the Shogun issue this Vision Hunt decree?
Before I try to explain, I should perhaps remind you first that Mondstadt is the city of freedom, and Liyue is the city of contracts. As for Inazuma, it's known as the Nation of Eternity. The Raiden Shogun is both the nation's most powerful ruler and its deity. The Eternity in question is her endless and unchanging will to rule over Inazuma. As such, she relies on the Tri-Commission to regulate the nation's affairs and the Sakoku Decree to limit the people's movement. The Shogun wishes to keep Inazuma in stasis, allowing the stream of time to flow from one end to the other without disturbing it for all time.
Seems like every god has their own will.
Of course, this is my own limited understanding. As for the reason behind the recent Vision Hunt decree, perhaps the Shogun believes that visions grant people the power to change, and that her eternity doesn't allow for such instability to exist. Whatever the case, the fact is that the Raiden Shogun has dispatched the Tenryou Commission to scour the nation for visions, embedding each one in this statue. And this statue of the omnipresent god can be seen as Inazuma's symbol of eternity.
But if that's the case, wouldn't you say that the Raiden Shogun is being, oh, I don't know, selfish?
Only outlanders such as yourselves would ever dare speak out so directly against the Raiden Shogun. And yet, I agree. The Vision Hunt decree is something that simply should not exist. And Miss Kamisato has been committed to fighting it since the day it was announced.
Huh? Hey, are you okay? You look like your mind is elsewhere.
What was that sound just now?
Sound? What sound? I didn't hear anything. Did something happen?
Yeah, you touched the statue, and then what?
I could hear sound. It was aspirations.
Aspirations?
Interesting choice of words.
That would seem to confirm the saying. Have you heard it before? That when a person's ambition reaches a certain strength, the gods look upon them with favor. That is where visions come from. In other words, a person's vision represents their ambition. So if what you just said is true, then the ambitions of these people are stronger than I imagined.
So vision symbolizes ambition, not power.
All right, time for the next stop on our tour of Narukami Island, the Kamisato residence.
Finally!
Far north are we talking here? Oh, we're going way north, eh? Let's say we wander over yonder. Little island down there. That's where I want to look. That makes it look like there's a switchback trail on the hillside, but I don't see one. Sure, there's gonna be a Zappy boy. They're still over here. Can you see one of these puzzle dealies? There's a boy up here. Hey, buddy. Sure, we'll play tomorrow.
Lightning flash!
Whoop, wrong button. It's not down. Figure that out. Didn't bark this one. closer over this way, huh? Try again, buddy. Yeah, we'll play again. We got closer over this way. I see it over there. So we didn't borked ourselves again. Man, buddy. Yeah, it's over there. Well, we know where it's at. Kazuha. Tally ho! Whoa. Oh, come on, dude. Ah, crap. Yeah, we're borked. Get off. Alright, let's try that with less fail this time. I gotta stop hitting that, I'm used to it. There we go. Alright. Check, there's no zipper zap orb over here. Or there you go, work on. There we go. There's a spirit fella here. Cool. Where you going, buddy? Out across the sea, huh? Alright, let's get our stammer on. There's 3 of them that show up out here. Look at that. That makes traversing water so much easier. Alright, we need to even these out. Two of them have rocks. Look at that. Interesting. Fix the one next one and that one. So this should shuffle those two, give itself one. It'll shuffle those two and give itself one. Those two give itself one. So then. There we go. Just had to offset it and even them out. Alright, Miss Ayaka. That's ice dance, my dear. I see a sprite there and a sprite there. She's just out for stamina. That one's inside a zap sphere, it looks like. And there's a boat over there. That would probably make this whole adventure easier, honestly. But I kind of like using her ice dash. Kind of digging the ice dash.
My apologies.
One with nature.
There you go. Much better. Alright, little spirit friend. Okay, well, let's go with the other one. We need to figure out a way to get into that barrier. And I think I see a tree right there. That work? Oops.
Bellowing thunder!
That'll work. Electro was insufficient to pass through this thunder barrier. Oh ho! We need more thunder power. Can't boost it, huh?
Lightning flash!
Foxy guy here.
What? Yeah. Lightning flash!
Didn't do anything for him. I wonder how many zap rocks are in the area. We can gather multiple. It's a dangerous hull breaking the slime balloon. There's a block on the tree. I want it.
Yeah. Yeah. Huh.
This guy's sword style seems so clumsy compared to the human dudes. I want it. Oh, there's some over here. Come here.
Yeah.
Okay, you're messing with my camera. Please stop.
Yeah.
There we go. Rude.
Crush!
What a rude dude that guy was. We need to get more food or put a hero on our party.
Yeah!
Ow.
Flood of frost! I condemn you!
There we go. Oh, there's a zip zap dude over here. Do not have a key. Search the area for clues. Well, we had this cave over here that it was giving us the shrine talk about. Carry out special offering in the shrine. We need to get a ward. Which means we need to get another ward daily. So we need another Zap Puppy statue to get our ward daily. Huh. These fellows. Ooh, there's a thingamadabra up here too. Ooh, a teleport thingy.
Yeah!
It's a Sakura Blossom. Butterfly. Teleport point. Viewpoint. Ooh, that's cute. Gorgeous. Sacred Forest and Moonlight. There's a little statue of a fella there.
Lightning flash! Take this!
Time to go.
Where we at? Keep it nice and tight. Let's electro doodad on top of a rock. Confirmed. And then Zap Ball went up the steps.
Take this!
I don't know if this movie's on
Yeah.
anybody. Active all secret. Actually, come over here, buddy. Kind of.
The wind knows her.
There we go.
Fallen leaves, adorn my night!
That worked quite nicely, I think. Oh, we knocked the shit out of that flower, didn't we? Samurai Sam down here.
Let's get down to business! Move! Feel my blade somewhere?
Beg for mercy.
You know a thing or two.
One
You
with
know a
nature.
thing or two.
Crush. Good grief.
Ooh, that hurt.
Cheap tricks.
Shudder.
More! My highness.
Here's some handguard action. Need handguard action. Can't trust the pot. Alright.
More speed.
Now that we've been thoroughly distracted as to what we were initially trying to do.
Beg for mercy.
That is a reload stone. This is a reload stone.
More speed. Crush.
I didn't need to get that one out, did I? Alright, we need to get enough zap power to activate this barrier. Oh, she jingles when she walks. That's adorable. Got stuck on a tree. Alright,
Here!
Booms. I see a zap stick up there. Excuse me, I need myself for a second there.
More speed.
Into the wind.
Shudder. Crush.
One with nature.
there's that there. I wonder if I can run a conductive line down from this crystal up here, maybe? I didn't get this very hard, did it?
Beg for mercy.
Into the wind.
Crush. Shudder.
Okay, others. Alright, this is our conductive crystal here. What happened? Does it reset it?
More speed.
I don't know where this is trying to go. Go. I guess it's trying to connect that one there, probably.
More speed.
Yeah, we went too far away and it reset it. Definitely trying to connect to that crystal over there. Hmm. Interesting. Seems to connect between those two, doesn't it? Look at that. That there. Not enough to get the line up to there, though. Here. I wonder if I even need to put a stone there. Like, here maybe? Here. If I become the conductor. Thanks for that. Eat. Pretty clever one. Ooh, there's a recon over here.
Time to scout.
One of these doodads. The key for this last night. Let's open it. Oh, philosophy scrolls. Nice. Cool.
Follow the wind.
Yes, we'll follow the wind. Oh, there's foxy statues.
Time to go.
Right?
Here! Lightning flash!
play with me. The more,
Eye for an eye.
the merrier.
The wind knows me.
Crush!
Let me amuse myself. No longer.
More speed.
One with nature.
Shudder! Crush!
The wind knows me.
He needs food. Oh, there was a Tanuki guy we were following up here. Lost track of him while the witch chicks attacked us. Ooh, there's a zip-zap dwarf over here somewhere. In the trees, perhaps?
Wind strider.
Perhaps not. Oh yes, there it is. Electro, doodad. Pretty sure I spelled that wrong. That's alright.
Wherever in this world I roam, I carry memories of my home. This blade, it is the last link I have to the land of my birth.
Shudder!
There we go. Tanuki guy? What's up, dude? Now he's up there. What you doing, buddy? Yeah, I know where you went. I do see an electro thingy over here, though. Let's activate this.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess he went there. Sneaky bugger. Oops. Didn't make it active. Boom, boom, boom,
I'm sure the Kami.
How will the Sakoku decree affect that?
I don't know more about the clan. Can I bring Yeah, but there's the Genshin Impact will have no niches it's about. Remember, I have a conclusion now, but remember the issue commission. Trust them when you show the decision. Oh, alright. Well, thank you. Thanks for sharing.
I'm sure the Kamisato clan will be fine.
Let's see. What else do I
Just let me walk on in, eh?
So, this is the kind of place where the big shots of Inazuma live, huh? Paimon kinda expected it to be snazzier.
Oh, this is kind of hard to top the Jade Chamber Gadol.
Welcome at last to the Kamisato residence, honored guests. Miss Kamisato is delighted to finally meet you.
Is this the Shirasage Himegimi you keep going on
Shirasage
about?
Himegimi.
So,
Alright.
where's she at? Oh, behind the screen?
Yes. As the daughter of the Yashiro Commission, this is how Miss Kamisato is accustomed to receiving guests. Consider it a time-honored tradition within the Yashiro Commission. Forgive me if this is an unwelcome surprise.
It's a little anticlimactic.
Makes sense.
Please forgive my lack of courtesy for receiving you in this fashion, especially following such a long and wearisome journey over the sea. I have awaited your arrival with great anticipation, and Toma assures me that you do indeed possess the power to change the tide of the times. At present in Inazuma, in the name of the Vision Hunt Decree, the people's aspirations are being senselessly trampled underfoot. Though the Yashiro Commission serves the Shogun, it is the people with whom we share close bonds, given the contact we are required to have with them in the performance of our duties. A commission's power rises and falls with the trust of their people. Thus, we cannot remain indifferent to this situation without also remaining indifferent to our own fate. Traveler, lend us your power, and we can...
I'm sorry, I did not come here to start a rebellion.
See, milady, it's just like I said. This will take us nowhere.
Sorry, I've been
No,
leaving.
please! Wait! Please, don't go!
What is it?
I will introduce you to the Raiden Shogun on one condition. You must fulfill 3 small wishes on my behalf.
What are your wishes?
They pertain to 3 whose visions were taken from them. Perhaps once you've met them, you will understand.
A warrior who guards a village, a former samurai who helped carry out the Vision Hunt Decree, and a swordmaster determined to become the best in the world.
Thank you
Does
for my
Paimon get
village,
that
right?
right?
Correct. Please do all you can to help them. I will await your return here.
Very well, I'll do as you wish.
Then you have my gratitude.
I'm sure you'll do great.
Thanks, Toma. Princess behind the curtain. Now we have a new quest given to us. She's not behind the curtain anymore. I can't really see kimono from here. Kind of interesting choice to put a camera angle in there. It's got a neat looking area though. I like this. Ooh, books. Books are good. There's always achievements to collect for books. Ooh, there's a zippy doodad here. It's probably on top of the roof. That's not how we're gonna get on top of the roof, my man. Either it's under the cliff. Oh, let's take a look. Hey, what's under the cliff? There's a Tanuki guy down here. Hold on. Hey, buddy. Where you going? Ooh. Where you go? I don't know where he went, but there's an electro doodad over here. This here we need to edit to the start of it. Electro doodad. You don't navigate there. Right here. Turn doodad on the tree. Next. That's not how you spell the kitsune. I don't know how to spell it. Rather than try and butcher it, we'll just type the Foxy statues. That Foxy statue there.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're supposed to do with these guys.
Beg for mercy.
Hydro, maybe? I know it's not the answer. Blue-ish.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because I hit a cryo, I was growing bluish. Well, there's samurai down there. We need to get samurai. So we need their sword hilts. So we're going to samurai them.
Rack and ruin.
Hey, buddies.
It's a lucky day. Into the wind. Thing or two.
Get out of that. Oh, I got stuck.
Regrets.
I am slow on the movement there.
To the ferry.
Shudder.
Finally, to the ferry.
Stone slate. These guys are a little stingy on their giving out their stuff. Grab that, why not? What are we gonna get attacked by?
Crush. Touché. Vengeance will be mine. Eye for an eye.
Not bad.
We need to get more food here soon.
One with nature.
Crush. Yes.
Keep going, Zappy Ball.
Shudder!
You. There she goes. Oh, come on, dude. Come on!
What a sorry sight.
Yeah, it's a sorry sight when you get yourself knocked off a cliff, you dingus. Not mean to eat that much food, but alright. Move, please.
Yeah, crush.
Oh, you don't got it.
Beg for mercy.
This is Her Majesty's gift.
I condemn you.
Here's my gift.
This body belongs to ice and snow.
She's got crystals.
More speed.
Neat. Pick your boxes. There's no zip zap doodad over here. Whoa. That's a chasm. Oh, it's just laying on the ground. Nothing. Doodad. There you go.
Crush.
Huh. Looks like there's something under there. What? I have no clue. Oh, hi guys. Guess I wasn't supposed to be up here. Sorry, I spoiled your high ground. I reckon there's probably more to fight since that chest is still locked up tight, eh?
Right.
There he is.
Shudder.
Sneaky bugger. Hiding behind a cliff. You're smart, you didn't want to die. So if you sit back here and keep very quiet and very still, you won't get murdered. And then he sneezed. This little bugger. And then he sneezed. Can we start the reputation guy? Hey, buddy. About the commission. Commission, country commission, theory commission, strike commission. No. Lady, she protects commission. Press concern many different aspects of life here. We usually have a shortage of manpower when things get busy, not to mention Interesting apples out. Pay fairly, of course, should be experienced in better commissions. Ah, give me some commissions, man. Guess I gotta finish this quest before it lets me pick those up. It's a bit of a bummer. I have to climb this hill all the way. There's a book. I want him. Oh, there was electro that we get there. Let's see here. Doodad. Alright, they're lightning, baby. There we go. That thing zap charges us. Oh, there's kids, some guys here.
Follow the wind.
Go back. Samurai Sam's down there. And his uncle. Ted.
Flood of frost. Rack and ruin.
To the fairy. You win. This.
Thanks, Ted. Famed hamburger. Alright. Cool. And some chicken. This is probably not lit. No. I think it was lit before we started beating the crap out of those guys. Bug. Bug. This is my bug. Feel the glittery sound of a friend. Whoa, check this place out. That's cool looking. Yeah, I think it's up there. Oh, I hit the wrong button.
Follow the wind.
Stop hitting the wrong button, then, man. Oh, I was there. Alright, now we're just going backwards.
Follow the wind.
Alright, let's start over. Let's go back here and start over. Oh, there we go. That's cool. Some sakuras.
Yeah.
Slap those ones together. Speed sakuras.
Lightning flash.
Yep. Come active. This one here. Try to do that up high. Keep on riding that lightning. No, do glide! Alright, let's try this again without being stupid. There we go, that's much better. This is such a cool way to get around. Here we go. Bye. Alright, well, I offered, man. What kind of cool viewpoint do we got here? Very nice. Some beautiful views in this game. I can clearly see an electro doodad up there.
Bad one? No, let me try again.
Oh, come on, my man. That didn't work.
Talk to the electro archon.
The wind knows me.
I gotta stop hitting the button. Right. Climb it if you're gonna climb it, buddy.
Another bad one? No, let me try again.
What are you doing? Sometimes a curse or greater curse will last but not the day because the restriction there. Well, it sets out. Guy, trumpet defeated and received the diamond punishment. Sorry. Awful way to go now, I think. It's lost to take away and then oh, this guy here has it. Can't jump in there. We certainly tried though, didn't we?
By the protection of the
Hi, Maki. Okay. What if we ask her about the shrine? Ah, she gave me a what do you- This looks like a good spot to go on top of the roof from. So why don't we do that?
Follow the wind.
Any birdie eggs up here? Ooh. Okay. Electro doodad on top of the great shrine. Ew. My icon's wrong. There we go. Much better.
protection of the electro. May the blossoms of the sacred sakura.
Who is he, if I might ask? Best of luck to you. Well, thank you.
Protection of the electro.
Narukami, please.
May the blossoms
See
of the
that he
sacred
stays
sakura
safe.
Oh! You can sacrifice sigils to this dealer here to gain its favor. What's this? So essentially, you unlock the ability for an electrogram. So 3 in sacrifice to obtain eternal current and characters unlock type in electro and the elements energy systems. Ah! That's kind of cool. It's all the way up to 50. Alright, well, let's make an offering. Went all the way to 30. Oh, next time we get a sword. Coolness. Fragile resin, I'll take that. A couple of wishing fates. Lots of adventure XP. I'm okay with that. Duration is increased to 20 seconds. The next level. We get a little crown doodad, we get a key here. It's pretty cool.
Protection of the electro argon.
Okay with that.
Blossoms of the sacred sakura.
Sakura. Hey, buddy. Want a fortress left? Yeah, I'll take one. About you, it's me, I give you right. Pretty sure that's a fortress, so whatever. So it's like this. Try the auspicious slippers. Yes, we'll draw a slip. See, every day you receive a fortune slip. Procedure is as well. Shake the bamboo slip from the fortune box. Exchange that bamboo slip for a fortune slip with Genshin Ringo. Would you like to try your luck today? Yeah, sure, we'll try our luck today.
Narukami, please.
Pick the cylinder to draw a fortune.
Stay safe.
Alright. Right. Two times otherwise. Wait, no, if not, you won't be able to use a voice to hang it out. Wait, do that, right? Because you're transferring the place around. See, I don't like that. So please remember, you've got one fortune.
Narukami, please.
Alright, whatever. Alright, Paimon, you nuisance.
Protection of the electro argon. May the blossoms of the sacred.
Surely that child isn't slacking off.
Oh, creature. Oh, we got a fortune slip. Whoops, that's not where we want to be. She mentioned something about tying it to a wall or some such deal. There's a butterfly. You missed him.
Take this!
Get some soccer going on. Is this the wall?
Electro Archon, whenever you are troubled.
That ain't it. Oh, there it is, right there in front of me. What a dingus. What is our slip? Slip. There it is. Is this it? No. That's the stone. There's our slip. No, that's the invitation letter. Here's our slip. Special slip in the paper, also known as some strips of paper. Because unfortunately, curse and read a curse can be tied to the fortune of the banner and prayer. Fate, destiny is your best. Alright, well, I don't know what kind of slip I have. Doesn't say. Misfortune. Be careful, you may lose something in your treasure. Remember the rest of your for the days of misfrosted clouds, sometimes. Sure, we'll hang it up. Why not? I don't know if it'll do anything, but we'll hang it up just for the sake of hanging around.
Here.
Can you send you it, darling? Can.
A blade embraces its duty, as a jeweler cherishes their gem. Thank you for your guidance.
Push her a little further, eh? There you go, darling. More rooms, we need green hilts, and we need more robot pieces. Alright. Oh, there's a bloom.
Here.
Let's zip punch it. Alright, distractions aside. Oh, let's close this tab out over here. So it stops beeping at me.
Let's see. Where's the person Ayaka told us about?
Why are you doing this? Why leave all of a sudden, after all these years?
Precisely. It's much too sudden. We've had no time to prepare. The children are desperate for you to take them out to play. Please, we urge you to reconsider.
That must be the guy Ayaka told us about. Let's go over and see.
Sure.
Ah, you must also be here to try and convince Tejima to stay. Tejima has protected this place ever since he arrived here 30 years ago. Keeping out the treasure hoarders, fending off any monsters that draw near, resolving quarrels between the villagers. He has put an enormous amount of work into looking after this place, and we all think the world of him. But now, all of a sudden, he says he plans to leave us. We can't help but wonder,
Was it something we did? We will gladly apologize if that's the case. All we want is for him to stay.
If you want my opinion, something to do with the Vision Hunt decree. It's clear that Tejima had done nothing wrong, and still they confiscated his vision. After that, he became a completely different person. I can't claim to fully understand it, but I could tell that he'd lost something very important to him. He went off on a walk, alone, circled the village a few times, and then out of the blue, he announced that he was going to leave and become a wanderer. Truth be told, we aren't sure whether trying to keep him here is the right thing to do. But equally, it doesn't feel right to let him leave when he's in this state. He's a lost soul.
Seems like he's a well-respected guy around here.
Alright, Tejima.
You must be Tejima. So what's made you wanna—
Me? It's not a question of why I want to leave, but a question of what reason I would have to stay. True, but that's not why I chose to stay here. And what made me want to come here 30 years ago? And why have I never wanted to leave in all that time? I don't have answers to those questions because I can't remember anymore. Ever since they took my vision away, it's like a slice of my memory is gone. In the past, I knew I wanted to stay here. But whatever resolve I had then, it's gone now. So I thought, what's to stop me from moving around instead? The emptiness inside me will be there either way.
Okay. Well, in that case, if we— But if you can't— Oh! Maybe if you just—
Oh, that reminds
Hi Man's
me.
voice is so damn annoying.
Last time I brought Tejima some fruit, I do believe I saw him writing in a diary.
I keep a diary?
Oh, yes, you do. And what's more, I remember you saying at the time that you wanted to make a note of a few interesting things. Things which would prove very important at a later date.
Perfect! So if we want to keep Tejima from—
If you don't mind, we will leave you to find the diary. We should—
Alright, let's see if we can find this book at the diary if he doesn't remember. Just sitting out in the rain.
This looks like Tejima's— Let's see what we have today. The villagers and I got together to cook dry braised salted fish. Today, I helped rescue a kid who had fallen in the water. After I pulled him out, he told me that his best friend Bamboo— I went kite flying today. The string broke, so I chased after it as fast as I could. I soon realized I was never— Seems like you're at— Huh? Wait, I went to pray at the shrine again today and stayed there a while. The Omamori you gave me has faded a little, but it is still my mode. Now that's the kind of info we're looking—
Alright. Speaking of shrines, while we're thinking about it, let's go up here. See if we can get another blessed branch from this shrine. There was this guy right here.
Yeah.
Nope. That guy's been zip-zapped. And Ed and Fred are over here, though.
More speed.
Hey, Ned, Ed, and Fred. Just a question for you.
Beg for mercy.
How do you feel about number 5?
Shudder.
To the ferry. Finally, I my blade. To the ferry.
These guys don't drop handguards and stuff too often. There we go. to the shrine.
So this is the Omamori Tejima wrote about. Interesting. Looking at the color and the design, Paimon would have thought. But anyway, if he had this with him all the time, there's a chance.
Oh, that's cool.
The soil looks like it's been disturbed. Maybe Tate must be something pretty amazing if it made him stick around. It looks like a letter. The Konda Village.
Check right during the room.
Sounds so
Word for me
familiar.
in Konda Village. There would be a safe home for us there. It's here, dingus.
So the reason Tejima came here was to wait, but he's been here for 30 years. Well, let's go give Tejima...
Sad.
Well, I'll be. That's certainly my handwriting. And I guess the Omamorian letter belonged to me too. But I have no memory of anything that's written in this diary. Still, it's clear that I was waiting for someone here, and that I chose to wait for 30 years. Over the years, I must have made a note of anything interesting. Anything that I could share with her when we were finally reunited. And just look at all the things that did happen over the years. The time has flown by so quickly. 30 years feels like the blink of an eye. How could I have forgotten something so important to me? Now that I think about it, when my vision was taken from me, it felt like I'd suddenly been hollowed out. Love, regret, everything I felt for her, it's all disappeared. No, not especially. After all, I've forgotten who she was. Her face, her voice, the things we experienced together. I barely recall any of it. It's as if she'd never been in my life to begin with. As if all these years have been nothing but a hazy dream. I think maybe not. If this is something I waited most of my life for, I suppose I should carry on waiting. Although, what if she were to turn up eventually, only to find I didn't remember so much as her name? Wouldn't that be upsetting for her? When I think about it like that, I do feel a slight tinge of sadness in my heart. How curious. Why am I thinking like this when I don't even remember who she is? It's just like that feeling of emptiness. The feeling that something is missing. Thank you both for helping me reconnect with my reason for staying here. I shall remain here.
Tejima seems to be dealing okay. Seems
Yes,
it's just like
happened.
Ayaka and Tomo were saying. If you look, that certainly explains the At least we were able to help. According to Miss Kamisato, the second one who lost their vision is a samurai from the Tenryou Commission.
Oh, there's a quest up here now. Hello, fellas. Midori and Kyoshi. At the bottom of the sea for a long time, right? Seen all kinds of things, see all kinds of fish. Tell anything about Shiznaya? Shiznaya, well, no, I don't think so. No, that's not the point. Stop sending me travelers. The story of Takeshi. Staying in Kimura Tea House, I want to find me. I'm not that old. No, you already read a person. Yeah, I'll see. With you. I can't get in there and see it. Alright. We can do that. Why not? We're in the area.
They say the Tenryou Commission is directly controlled by the Shogun. They're the ones responsible for maintaining. But why would they take action against... Paimon doesn't get it. Huh? There seems to be some commotion over there. Let's go see what's happening.
I'll ask one more time. Do you intend to withhold this month's emergency provisions?
The entire clan is counting on that food! How many times do I have to say it? I don't know anything about emergency provisions!
You dare deceive us? Those provisions are essential! Do you understand?
You samurai think you can just do whatever you please? The Tenryou Commission will hear of this!
Oh, huh? And who are you?
What? We heard the commotion and came to...
I see. You seem to have come just at the right time. This is Kurosawa. He's a samurai and a member of the Shogun's army. They issue emergency provisions to the area. In the past, we'd simply ask him for provisions and everything would be delivered. He's keeping the provisions for himself.
No one seems to care about us. We used to think Kurosawa was a kind man. It's no wonder all the visions have been confiscated. The Raiden Shogun doesn't need people like...
This must be one of the people Ayaka asked us to help. Maybe we should talk to Kurosawa.
Guy probably doesn't remember losing his shit. Alright, buddy. We're gonna go up the road here. We'll be back to deal with you after we help this kid out. She asked for help first.
The essence of the
This guy still won't afford us any fancy new weapons. Kind of a bummer. Oh, we can make XP rods with those ones. Alright, we got a shit ton of these. So we'll start them. I don't think we ever asked them about them. Alright, well thanks, buddy. Here's the chunks.
Please speak to President Sung. I'm just a helper.
Oh, better pick that up. Some poor guy lost his notes.
I'll find the treasure for sure.
Looking for treasure? She's just hanging out here in the middle of the road. Alright, we're going to talk to Ramsey. Oh, there's a treasure box back here. There's 180,000 back there. Holy shit. There's a lot of more back there. This makes me want to go to a Hibashi's restaurant. Ramsey. That's true. Around the rolling geese. Yeah, I don't know. Deep water is delicious. Must guard against others. More time from behind the dragons. Alright, so we'll go to the beach. Grab the Chronicles. More books in the area to pick up. This is making me hungry. Stop and make some dinner here soon. Can I talk to the dog? The answer is yes, you may talk to the pooch. Not sure what good it does you, but yes, you may talk to the pooch. Waterfall to the north of town. You got it, buddy. Ooh, excuse me.
Time to go. Yeah.
Oops, wrong button. You just deleted that guy.
Crush!
gents.
Shudder!
One with nature.
Crush!
So really hilly trolls. Make more food. We are running out.
Beg for mercy.
That hurt!
Alright, come on, dude.
Into the wind.
It's really persistent and following. Alright, that's kind of neat. So.
Take this!
Shudder! More speed.
Top of the mountain, eh? I wonder if we could glide from here and get to the top of that there dude mountain. Wait a second. There's a doodad here. Underneath of this? Is there an underneath of this? Oh no, we're gonna die. Oh no, we didn't. On a ledge. Mercifully. Climb up, my friend. Climb up. Alright, we got the one that was on top. This needs to believe there's one underneath. There's quite a chasm of space underneath this thing. This space here, maybe. We got one under here already, though. It's right there. This is way down here. I guess it's possible. There's a bug. Catch him. Oh, shit. Did I kill him? No. Oh man, there's so many Sparky Dailies. Alright, can I move? Thank you. One in the middle there, it says. There's one there. Oh, I drowned her. Shit. Sorry, darling. I was not paying attention.
My
Damn it, I drowned her too. Dude, I suck at this. We need to resurrect our peeps. Let's go to the resurrecting spot. Try not to drown these girls anymore. Oh, girls. There we go. Thoroughly distracted right now. Search for electro doodads. Wow, there are stairs that climb and walk all the way up this place. My electrogram level is insufficient to pass through this thunder barrier. I need double the electric power there. Guess I get that by going...
Lightning flash!
Upgrading the thing more, I think.
Lightning flash!
That's wild. Right, please. Come up here. Get up there. Where's in the buggy? Try again, darling. There you go. There's a zap bank there. We know there's an electro charge up on that rock there. That's the zap thing that teleported us to the area. Really have Zhao on the team for this much climbing. Try again. There you go, buddy. Ooh, try again. Once again, conquer the summit. There are so many spots down here that showed us the electro doodads. There was one. Out of the trees. That's where I thought I might hide it. Why not? So densely packed in this area. At least on the map they are.
Lightning flash!
I have a feeling like there's a way to get under this further or something. Oh, a cave into this? Samurai Sam's down here. There's one. Stay right there. Electro, doodad. Okay. Let's talk to Sam.
The wind knows me.
Beg for mercy.
Get over! Fall before me!
Eye for an eye.
You win this battle.
No, we fought that guy. Must be nothing more to that guy. Is there a tunnel up there?
I follow the wind.
Oh, buddy, hold on. Guess not. It kind of looked like it from the angle of the rocks, but I guess not. There's definitely something more to that spot. It's a spot to hide something in a cave or something.
Time to go.
Exactly. No one needs to leave.
Take this!
Oh yeah, it's all supposed to be back there too.
Take this!
Firefly there. This one's just hanging out at the shrine. Look at Shadow in a second. Sure, you then. So I take there. There we go. Hello, miss. Huh. That triggered a quest line.
The insolent shall be punished.
One with nature.
Where'd she go?
Shudder. Yeah.
Into the wind.
I condemn you!
I am pertinent.
Winter, shall we venture?
Thank you for the crystals.
Take this!
Beg for mercy. Shudder.
The systems shine no longer.
Eating the crackers out of that girl solved that puzzle. That's funny. Can I? Oops.
Take this!
Let's do this and make this the active quest. Stay from being a shrine.
Lightning flash!
Crush! Whirling snow!
The wind knows me.
Beg for mercy. Freeze to the core. Eye for an eye.
As one with wind and cloud! Lightning flash!
Shudder!
Got rid of that beanie head. This looks like the ruins of something. Seems to have come there. What is it? There's that right behind us. Super. Sure. Right here. The ward has been sealed away with sacred wards. Seal, let it be broken. While you have now been missing for many years, if the seal broken and the clothing ritual conducted, I hope that you shall be the one to break it. Through my sacred words, something often used to say in the past. Something else? Successor. Incorporate spirits. 3 spooks. And please here's guardians. And when they are gathered here in one place, you proceed. That's correct. Well, we know we can't just zap this one. Oh, there's a shadow. This one? In the tree? Nope, not in the tree. Under the ledge, maybe? There's a cave under here. And it's locked. Oh, that's the one within the gate. That we need to do the shrine thing for. But there is a ward above it. So, there's that. Take some berries. Berries are always nice. Oh, there's a spirit here. Oh, my dear. Goodbye, my dear.
Lightning flash!
Oops. Oh, wait a second. She was glowing that fox by being near it. I think.
Yeah.
So. Hello, my dear. Does it put her near the fox? It does. Okay. Hello, my dear. That put her near a fox? No, I think that spooks her down the road here. Nope, that was a different one. Figure out where she went. Right?
Right. Beg for mercy. Into the wind. Crush.
There's knuckleheads out of the way. There's Kitsune over here. Alright, let's go see if we can find the other fox breeder, or ghosts, spirits, whatever these people are. Okay. I think if I speak with her, she appears over near that one. Okay. Leaving the quest area. Let's go fight Samurai Sam down here. Hi, Sam.
Shut up!
Let me try my blade.
The wind knows it.
Beg for mercy. Vengeance will be mine. Rack and ruin.
Cut down. Like this.
Hi, buddy.
More speed.
There we go. Let's see about finding the last of the spectral friends. Look here. Nope, that didn't work.
Halloween thunder!
This should work. See, this says there's a spirit ghillie in there, but there's gotta be something else to do with that on.
Crush!
Take this over here, this. Follow the road down and see if maybe we see someone. Somebody's standing down here.
This place.
Silly Charlie, Brother Charlie? Silly Charlie, Billy Charlie. Chance songs in here? You feel like teacher takes inspiration on. So that's a seed here. A little bit of a breadcrumb to get you in here and start doing the questage. Alright. Behind that. You need to find the ghost. Is she down in here perchance? I mean, this is in the area. So there's a chance that the ghost would be down here too. Right? I don't see her. It's worth a shot. I'm missing something incredibly obvious too. Maybe on the hill behind the shrine? Got the two ghosts standing there. There was one standing there before. There's a boog up this tree. I like it. I don't know what the boogs are for, but I want them. Even down the gully. Can you hear me?
Take this!
Eye for an eye.
I don't see any ghosts down here. Alright, let's go check the hill behind the shrine. Can also try putting the game in nighttime mode. See if that helps us. Right? Looking for ghosts, it can't hurt.
beg for mercy.
Into the wind.
Crush.
Hi, darling. Alright. Claim that, thank you very much. There's that bush there. Put the samurai there. I've already done that puzzle. That's the cave where the things are in. Well, let's see if try talking to one of the ghosts. Maybe it forces them to move around and get. Does it show up perhaps? I'm not entirely sure. So you need to be gathered at one place, which means this here seems like the obvious place for them all to be gathered, yeah? If we talk to her, she shudders off. She shudders off. Right? There's nobody at the shrine here.
Time to go.
There's nobody down in the valley. Or anybody up on the hill.
Follow the wind.
There's one in front of the shrine here. One in front of that shrine down there. Meaning we're missing one. So where is she? There's a buggy.
Time to go. Oops. Got carried away. There's a foxy friend over here. Hey, fox friend. The wind knows me.
Cook us some food while thinking about it. Attack power, not healing power. Nearly enough carrots to make a sufficient quantity of those. We got so much chicken. We don't know what to chicken with it. Rosary can make a special dish. Go to town. Now we need to go with here, here, this. Put the chicken in there. Now we got some healing power. Well, maybe if we do this challenge, it'll get the other Zap girl to show up. She's up here somewhere. It's the very edge of our sphere of influence.
Beg for mercy.
One with nature.
Flood of frost. I condemn you.
Impertinent fools, be gone!
Took her hat. Poor girl. Ooh, what is this? It's a damage shroom.
More speed. Crush.
Into the wind.
Shudder.
Yeah, there's no mercy there, darling. Thank you for the crystal prisms. Well, anything I could think of is perhaps the time trial. Get this ghosty boosty to show up. I don't know where else she is.
More speed.
Go back. Oh, go up. Watched that, didn't we?
Follow the wind.
Yeah, sorry, buddy. Wind was not enough. Well, get some stamina back, I guess. Alright. Let's get this one. This one.
Follow the wind.
Wait, go back, go back. Come on! Where's the other one at? Ooh, just barely made it. Damn, you suck at that.
Time to go.
So we're missing the ghost girl. She's not swimming in the pond. But we certainly are. She's not up here. We know where two of them show up at. There's one. And then she goes over there. After we talk to her. And she goes there. We talk to her.
Time to go.
Where did she go? There she is. You walk the road. Okay. So we talk to her. She goes back to the statue. Where we want her to go. Okay. Ooh, that was disorienting.
Wind Strider.
Well, I feel like we wasted enough time on this for now. We certainly have wasted quite a bit of time on that. Wrong button. Let's activate this. This is the travel log one. Now that we've distracted the sugar out of ourselves, our initial thought was to come up here and fly down to the quest point. Keep getting distracted by stuff. This one is prone to do playing this game. Alright, let's go back to the tea house then. God. What have you got? Just sell us some of this meat stuff. I got 5 of them. More. Got lots of the other stuff. Japanese inspired area, we should have some rice. I think it's all I can buy from you, thanks.
Why do new explorers make the same mistakes over and over?
Creative cooking is not appreciated, apparently.
Special yakitori.
Alcohol. Thank you. It's on the gear at least. Oh, you're the commission. I didn't want to go to the commission yet. Can't talk to her. Enter the tea house. Superstitious person, huh? Or just a nosy. That one done. I believe we haven't spent that much more yet. Go. Take these down to this young lady here. Stay up, Dory. Oh, excuse me. Alright, cool. She got some XP books over. Nice. That. This. 800 seems like a lot of adventure experience. Do you think you need? 280,000 to get to the next rank.
I've never even heard of these emergency provisions. I don't know whether it's rumors or whether they're trying to blackmail me. But either way, it's ridiculous. If I was hoarding supplies, would I still be the poor man I am today? My own family can barely get by as it is. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got other matters to attend to. And that's the first bit of truth I've heard all day. The Shogun's army told me that I was unworthy of my vision. And they said I was slacking off in my work. Apparently, I'd even disappointed the Raiden Shogun. And that's why they confiscated my vision.
Well, that's strange. You were helping enforce the Vision Hunter.
To be perfectly honest, I don't seem to remember the details. All I know is that I would perform certain things every month. But I don't recall what they were. And it's not just that. I have this unsettling feeling, like someone owes me something.
Does it have to do with the missing
I didn't take any. Like I said, if I was taking them for to top it all off, my house was just raided by treasure hoarders. Which is why I came here in the first place. I was chasing after them when I got held up by these two. If you don't believe me, go find the treasure hoarders yourself.
Huh. He seems, but we better confirm. We should be able to follow their track.
What a couple of assholes. This guy's trying to protect the village and these two dickheads interrupt him because they want to get a cheeseburger? Let him do his job. Jerks. Alright. Got a foxy friend.
We really outdid ourselves this time. All those samurai houses packed with goods. We really hit the jackpot. I mean, besides that one house.
You haven't seen anything yet. There'll be a lot more where this came from. Today's just the beginning. I'll be leading you all on an epic journey of pillage and plunder that will go down in hoarder history.
You demand, boss!
These seem like the treasure hoarders we're after.
Let's get in there and kick the shit out of them.
Where's the treasure? The wind knows me. Oh, there goes all the Mora. We worked hard to steal. Come on, boss.
Not bad, kid. You ever think of joining the treasure hoarders? We could use someone like you. Kurosawa. So he's the one who sent you after us, huh? Just our luck. I knew he shouldn't have hit that place.
So what did you see inside?
Food supplies. You kidding? That place was a complete mess. I didn't want anyone else to see it, so I was planning on opening it myself. But now that you've caught us, how about we make a deal?
You've got a deal. Now
Huh?
What the?
There's nothing in here but IOUs!
yeah. And they all seem to be made out to the owner of a general goods store. We better talk to this Miss Aoi. As for you guys, you're free to go. Just...
Yeah, so we redeemed ourselves for some IOUs.
Shut it. Let's just get...
How far up the road is this? We can just take the teleport out of the push right there. Another half hour or so, and I think we'll take a break for food.
Welcome to Tsukumomono Groceries. We've got... Or perhaps there's something you want to... Ah, so you're friends of Kurosawa, I take it? Perhaps you're here to pay off his debts.
Whoa! Let's not get ahead. How did Kurosawa end up owing you so much money? Did he buy anything super expensive here?
Let me think. Kurosawa would come regularly to purchase large quantities of foodstuffs. He'd always put the payment on his own account. However, the price of provisions began to skyrocket recently, and his salary was no longer enough to cover the cost. So, he started writing out IOUs to cover whatever he couldn't afford of the usual amount.
So that's how he was getting those emergency provisions. But why did he have to purchase a usual amount?
Well, if you think about it, the citizens receiving the emergency provisions must have been carefully calculating how much they needed to sustain them each time. Kurosawa thought that it would be quite the disappointment for them if they found they didn't have enough, especially after such long and careful planning. So he deemed it necessary to take on the debt rather—
Wow. Kurosawa was— and no one ever appreciated what he did.
People's attitudes will always reflect their circumstances. If you ask me, had Kurosawa told everyone the truth about— Of course, I'm sure there would still have been some unrest. Wait, as for why he chose to spend his own money on emergency provision— If you're still curious, why don't you go ask him yourself? I see. That reminds me, most unfortunate. If he doesn't clear the debt on his name, he'll have—
Sword?
Oh, didn't he tell you? He possesses a I've asked him about its origins. He told me that it was a gift from his father, that it was too precious to sell. In hindsight, I regret that I never made an offer on it. Everything has its price, at least that's what I think. Why don't you ask him about the sword yourself? Perhaps it'll even provide you with the answers you're looking for. Oh, but before you go, if you would kindly settle today's bill.
But you would—
Information is also a Don't worry. I won't charge much for information about Kurosawa. Nothing we ever discussed was explicitly confidential anyway. Oh, let me think.
That's bullshit.
At least we
They're
now
gonna give you an
know
option
where
to say
the
no.
emergency provisions are coming from. Plus, we found out that Let's go talk to Kurosawa.
Hey, shut up, Paimon. Whee!
What are you doing here all by
I presented them with a choice. Either they left or I drew my sword. They left. It turned out to be a real time saver, actually. Perhaps I should start using it more often. Did you manage to track down the treasure hoarders?
That just about sums it up. It turns out that you really were distributing emergency provisions. But
Strange. Is that really the kind of person I was? I don't really have any such recollection. Even why was I purchasing emergency provisions for everyone? And why would I put myself in such a difficult situation? I really don't understand. But I cannot deny that when I brandished my sword to scare those two away, I could sense that my body was somehow reluctant to do so. This sword was once wielded by my father. I remember once when I was young, I wanted to sneak out with the blade and show it off to the kids next door. My father ended up catching me in the act and scolded me severely. What did he say? I can't seem to remember that either. It would seem that I forgot many important things when my vision was taken from me. So many memories gone. Forever. No matter how hard I try to remember. All I can remember now is my father telling me that this blade bore his life's creed. Before he passed away, he placed the sword in my hands and said to me, "With this sword, you should..."
hey, if you look carefully, there seems to be some words engraved on the hilt. Can you recognize the words?
Virtue?
And justice.
Justice? Somehow those two words seem to explain everything now. Taking on seemingly endless debts to make others happy. I guess that must have been my greatest ambition after all. But what use are virtue and justice? I purchased the provisions for those in need, and look how things ended up. The Tenryo Commission seized my vision, and the very people I was so desperately trying to help refused to understand me. And the irony of all of it is, I somehow still felt sorry when threatening them with my blade. I'm incapable of being a good person, yet I'm equally unable to be bad. I don't know what to do with myself.
Yet another troubled soul. When we get the chance, let's speak to Toma about Kurosawa's debt. In any case, we must never let him sell off that sword.
Raising a vision is no trifling matter.
Seems like fortunately for us, let's go find the next...
Time to go.
The third person who had their vision taken is supposed to be a... Paimon heard that he's the present-day master of Meikyo Shisui art. This is his dojo. Luckily, there's some people around.
Nanako, don't worry. Sensei will be fine. Those thugs that challenged the dojo were strong, but he fought them all up.
Maybe, but I'm still worried about him. Things have gotten dangerous before in the past, but it's never shaken him. This time, though...
It's just because he's been possessed, that's all. Once the exorcism has taken place, he'll be right as rain in no time.
Hey there! Did something happen?
Who are you? I don't care whether you're trespassers or just here to harass us while Sensei is impaired. Get out of here immediately! Don't make me draw my blade, or you won't live to regret it.
No! You got it so wrong! We just came here to...
Come here to become disciples.
Disciples?
Yep. We've heard all about the mighty master, but
Hey,
then
shut
we
up,
got
Paimon.
here...
You're wasting time.
From the way you're dressed, please, accept my apologies. We've had so many people trying to cause us trouble recently that we're on high alert. You haven't arrived at the best of times, I'm afraid. Sensei got possessed recently, and he's still recovering. He's not able to take on any new disciples for the time being.
I'm not going back until I call my sensei. Yeah, we can wait until he's recovered.
I see you are earnest in your pursuit. Okay, how about this? My fellow disciple Nanako and I will explain Sensei's situation to you in a little more detail. Then you can decide whether to stay or to leave. Sensei's name is Domon, a name I'm sure you've already heard. Though self-taught, he mastered the art of the sword to a high level. He then proceeded to defeat many other prominent sword masters, never losing a single fight. He once said that his goal was to become the best sword master in the world. And so, even while training us, he continued to hone his own art. His fervor truly inspired us, and we trained hard, determined to keep up with him. But then...
Not long ago, Sensei had his vision taken away. He hasn't been the same since. He says the strangest things over and over, and he refuses to let us train. Junya and I have discussed it, and we both think that he's being possessed by an evil spirit. So we've asked the shrine maidens from the Grand Narukami Shrine to perform an exorcism. But if I'm honest, I still have my doubts over whether he'll completely recover.
The Grand Narukami Shrine?
You haven't heard of it? It's the largest shrine on Narukami Island. The head shrine maiden is reputed to have very close ties with the almighty Shogun herself. Not that we'd have any means of involving the head shrine maiden, of course. But even one of the ordinary shrine maidens from the Grand Narukami Shrine would have clear power and authority to perform an exorcism. So don't worry, Nanako. Sensei is going to be just fine. The exorcism will take place this evening. You're both more...
So, poison can cause...
Alright, well, let's hang around and see what happens. Needs to be 1800 to midnight. 6 to midnight. Well, let's just roll this around. Close enough.
Shh. So you decided to come. It's a good thing you didn't arrive any earlier. You would have had to witness Sensei in one of his fits of madness. Just now, when Nanako was attending to him, she heard him whispering a few names to himself. When she asked him who the people were, he suddenly looked panic-stricken and pushed her away. It looked like he was in great distress. He was covering his ears and looking frantically around him with bloodshot eyes. All the while he kept calling those names. Some of them we knew, others we didn't recognize. But they all seemed to be the names of sword masters he had defeated in the past. One of them was Anzai. He used to be a fellow disciple of Sensei's. His senior, in fact. But Sensei defeated him in a duel many years ago, and he has been a wanderer ever since. Sensei wouldn't stop calling his name. Thankfully, the Shrine Maidens managed to subdue him, so the exorcism can finally continue. The ritual has now begun. All we can do is patiently await the result. Here's hoping Sensei will be back to his normal self very soon. Please, excuse me for a moment while I fetch some water.
Huh? Who's that sneaking around? We won't let them get away with it.
It's the Sensei, you dingus.
Seems they aren't here. Should we keep going further up? Is this definitely the right place? Let's look a little further up. Aha! Suspicious person sighted! That's gotta be him!
How did you catch up with me so quickly? Are you sure you're Domon's disciples? You move even quicker than he does. Unless... I guess it's been a few years. Maybe his skills have improved again.
Excuse me? We're the ones asked, and what are you doing sneaking around these parts?
Shut up,
Bad
Paimon.
news? I'll have you know I trained side by side. I don't care to talk about that time anymore. But if you must know, I am Domon's senior.
His senior?
Anzai? Yes, that's me. Because I don't wish to see Domon or anyone else associated with him ever again. When we were young, we trained under the same sword master, studying Make-Yoshi Sui art together. I had begun training 5 years before him, and everyone looked up to me as a steady and dependable older disciple. Practitioners of Make-Yoshi Sui art seek to achieve stillness of mind, freedom from all agitation. So the majority of disciples are indifferent to rank and reward. I was no exception, but Domon was different. The first thing he did when he joined was go straight to our sensei and ask him, with a beaming smile on his face, how to become the best in the world. Sensei scolded him and told him that the art of the sword should not be used for such vain ends. Sensei said that coveting the title of the best sword master, barely days into his training, showed that he had a fickle mind, and that this would impede him from ever mastering the blade. I thought so too at the time, but Domon began making swift progress in his training and even started catching up with me. Only then did I realize that it was Domon who had long since freed his mind from all agitation. He was consumed by his singular desire to become the best in the world. He sought nothing less than perfection in the art of the sword, and nothing could deter him from this goal, no matter what stood in his way.
Sure sounds like he meant business. So how come you don't want to ever see him again?
Because until he arrived, I was convinced that I would succeed our sensei as the master of Meikyo Shisui art. Of all the disciples, I was the most gifted. I had trained the longest. Everyone had high expectations for me. Domon's
So much to know
arrival
and
changed
teach in the
everything.
mind, eh?
When we sparred, I lost not just the match, but my pride and my status too. I fled the dojo that day and never looked back. Later, I heard that he sparred with Sensei too. Sensei was advanced in years by then, and unfortunately that match used up every last ounce of energy in his body. After that, I wanted nothing further to do with him. Deep down, though, I still respected his mastery of the blade and his commitment to the art of the sword. So, when I heard rumors that he had lost his mind, my first reaction was to dismiss them as false. How could he, of all people, have lost his mind? His mind was the sharpest of them all. He had practiced Meikyo Shisui art to perfection. I decided to quietly come and see if it were true. Then, to my complete astonishment, I heard him call my name. I thought mine was a name he had long since forgotten. So you see, I came here not to cause him any harm. I just wanted to see for myself. Okay, you've heard my story.
Seems like we got it wrong. Still, Paimon's not sure we should bring him back with us.
What? Does that mean that he's just lost his mind? But how is that possible? No, I refuse to believe it. Something's clearly wrong.
Nanako, please. Try not to get agitated.
I am sorry. With what powers I have, I can find no sign of any malignant spirit having possessed Domon. But spirits may take a myriad of forms in this world, many of which I cannot claim to have witnessed myself. Thus, I dare not rule out possession with complete certainty. And all is certainly not lost, for I received word not long ago that Lady Yai has taken an interest in your sensei's case.
Lady Yai? Is that the same Lady Yai that I think—
The head shrine maiden of the Grand Narukami Shrine? That's wonderful news! Then Sensei will be sure to recover.
Correct. Lady Yai is most knowledgeable indeed, and has abundant experience in the exorcism of evil spirits and aversion of great calamities. I am unable to say for certain whether an evil spirit has possessed your sensei, but Lady Yai can give a conclusive verdict.
Excuse me, Miss Inagi, but I must ask, should we prepare a greeting gift for Lady Yai?
That won't be necessary. All that is required of you is your timely arrival at the Grand Narukami Shrine. Lady Yai does not like to be kept waiting. I must leave now, but we will meet soon at the shrine.
Who'd have thought Lady Yai herself would have taken notice of our sensei's case?
Do you mean to say that Sensei isn't renowned enough to deserve Lady Yai's attention?
No, that's not what I meant at all. I just mean this is Lady Yai, the head shrine maiden. She has direct and close contact with the almighty Shogun herself. Anyway, you should join us too, tomorrow. Given that you've traveled all this way just to meet our sensei, we, the disciples of Meikyo Shisui art, will do our best to help you.
Sure! After all, everyone seems... Who knows? Maybe...
Yeah, shut up, Paimon. Alright, now we go to the shrine. It's a good thing we got our teleport board, okay?
think that's Lady Yai? Oh, no one. Also, is it just Paimon? Or did she look right at it? It was probably nothing.
Keep away. I gave up the art of the sword. Please, let me go, I beg you.
As you can see, Lady Ya, Domon has persisted in this state for some time now. He appears to see those who have lost to him in duels past, gathered all around him to persecute him.
Lady Yai, it must be a possession, right? This is nothing like him at all. In the past, no matter what came his way, he would always face it with a confident smile.
I'm sorry. It is clear to me that your sensei is not possessed by any evil spirit.
But then does that mean he...
Yes. This is a change in the person himself. Unable to cope with the tremendous pressure he was under, he suffered a spiritual collapse. With his wits impaired, he finally descended into madness. As one who is thrown into the sea, though he fights back desperately against his predicament, it does nothing to prevent his descent into the depths. As for what has triggered this change, I believe it must be the loss of his vision. For to be stripped of one's vision is to be stripped of one's ambition.
Stripped of his ambition? But Lady Yai, even without his ambition, why should he suffer such a dramatic change? How does that explain his descent into madness?
Your school practices Meikyo Shisui art, does it not? Stillness of mind, freedom from all agitation. What a fine notion that would be if any in this world could ever hope to achieve it. There was once one who claimed to be indifferent to rank and reward, and who fled enraged when defeated by his junior. And then there was an aged swordmaster who was aggrieved enough that he crossed blades with a disciple he himself had taught. Then, what of the one who crossed blades with his own sensei and beloved fellow disciple, and defeated them both? Can one truly remain unagitated, of still mind in moments such as these?
Lady Yai, I'm not sure I understand.
The path of the swordmaster is filled with twists and turns. It is no small undertaking to pursue the position of greatest swordmaster in the world. It requires one to take their sword firmly in both hands and cut down the hopes and dreams of others, even those of one's closest companions. Only a deep commitment to his ambition to become the best made it possible for him to rise above the pain of these encounters, to focus on the way ahead. When that ambition disappeared, he began to doubt himself. As he battled his growing anxiety, he slowly descended into the state you see him in now. Much like a certain fatally flawed friend of mine.
Poor sensei. To think he's been suffering so greatly.
I'm sorry. It's all my fault. Father, Sensei, Anzai.
That's enough.
Huh? Isn't that Anzai? Did he follow us the whole way here?
Anzai, why are there two of you? Is that you or a ghost? You're here for revenge, aren't you? I knew it would—
You're right to assume that my feelings towards you are far from kindly. But I didn't come here to settle a score. It's been so long now that I made peace with it years ago. You did nothing wrong that day. I couldn't face the humiliation. That's why I ran. I don't think most of the people you beat along the way would hold it against you. On the contrary, when you cut our ambitions short, we entrusted them to you, in the hopes that they might carry you further. Now I know that we can't place our hopes in you any longer, since you've been stripped of your ambitions too. But that is no reason to strip them of theirs. Follow the way of the sword all the way to the highest peak. You taught them that, didn't you?
But what if one day, the same thing happens to them? I put everything I had into trying to become the best. But what if it was all a huge mistake right from the start? If there's a chance they'll end up like me one day, I'd rather they stay where they are now than go any further down this path.
Have you asked them what they think?
Sensei, after you rescued me from the hands of the pirates, I told myself I would follow in your footsteps for the rest of my days. I can't know whether I will suffer in my future as you do now. All I know is that here and now, in the present, I wish to continue. I want to keep going until the day that I can stand before everyone with my head held high and announce that I, like my sensei Domon before me, am a master of Meikyo Shisui art.
Nanako's far from the only one. Actually, all of us think that way. Goodness. Well,
You see? You can place the ambition you once had in their hands. Being stripped of your ambition is something that's never happened to me, so I can't claim to understand it. But I do know what it feels like to have your ambitions crushed. That's what happened on the day that you so effortlessly defeated me. So, just as I once placed my ambitions onto you, it is time for you to release yours into their custody. You are not in the same position that I was. When I left, I had nothing to my name. But you have a great number of worthy disciples.
I understand. I'm sorry to have made you worry for me, and I no longer have the resolve to become the best in the world. The emptiness and suffering inside of me will not abate, so I cannot hope to still my mind and be free of agitation. But as your sensei, I shall commit to imparting unto you everything I have learned in my life so far. This is my promise. And I humbly ask Anzai, my senior, to hold me to my word.
You can count on that. I'd be checking in on you occasionally anyway, just to make sure you hadn't lost your mind again. But I am now used to the life of a wanderer. I do not belong in the dojo anymore, so I will simply stop by once in a while to make sure you aren't cutting any corners with them. Well, don't just stand there staring at me. Say thank you to Lady Yai and then get yourself back home.
So even though his ambition was taken away, his disciples can take it over on his behalf. Guess that sort of solves this one, huh?
Yeah, I suppose it's as good a resolution as we can hope for.
Traveler, a moment, please.
So, my intuition was correct. The wind that blows from afar carries fresh life to these shores. For us to meet now is premature. Nevertheless, you set foot on these islands at precisely the right moment.
Interesting.
I have high hopes for you, child. Don't disappoint me.
Ooh, Lady, she seems super mysterious. We can come... Oh, Ayaka! Guess who fulfilled all your wishes? Huh? Ayaka! Huh?
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 There she is.
Traveler, Paimon, it is a pleasure to finally meet you both face to face. I have heard all about how you helped our three friends. My sincerest thanks to you.
Every time by losing a vision cannot be completely undone.
Yeah. Short of getting them, Ayaka, how come this time you get to
Because now that you have done the three things I asked of you, I consider you to be my friends.
As you will observe, I dispense with the screen for Toma also.
Mm-hmm.
Wait a second. But isn't Toma your—
Oh. Paimon, you are most entertaining. Toma is first and foremost my friend, and was so before he ever became my attendant.
Oh, okay then. Ayaka, you seem pretty different out in the open compared to how you are behind the screen. Alright, we can be friends.
Friend request accepted.
Thank you both kindly. Back to the matter at hand. You have now witnessed the pain of those deprived of their visions. What are your feelings on what you have seen?
They can be one day free of the torment.
Perhaps in the eyes of a deity such as the almighty Shogun, the lives of those who inhabit the world are inconsequential. Thunders roar, lightnings flash, the winds assault, and the rains descent. All these things take place with no regard for the feelings of the common people. But I believe that surely you understand what they must endure. It seems that perhaps now you can appreciate my feelings on all of this. In which case, perhaps you would be willing to reconsider your stance?
Yes, I'll
You
help
will?
fight the mission decree.
Really?
You must keep the promise you make to me.
Naturally.
All right, bravo, my lady. You were right all along.
See? I told you he wouldn't reject them. I'd place my trust in the right person after all. Now then, given that the remainder of our discussion pertains to matters of a more confidential nature, perhaps we could move to the Komori Tea House? We ought not to involve other members of the Yashiro Commission.
Fast travel me there, nice.
Well, here we are again.
Please continue without me. I'll keep watch.
So, what's the deal with this place anyway?
This is land that was gifted to the Yashiro Commission by the Shogun. The Kamisato clan has the exclusive right to plan, build, and repair any property on this land, and even to allow or deny access. Such privileges exist due to the Yashiro Commission's role in managing ceremonial affairs. Oftentimes, it is not appropriate to discuss details in front of bystanders.
Oh, Paimon gets it!
Once the number of ceremonial affairs conducted in the city began to decline, our forebears built a tea house here. Only members of the Yashiro Commission are permitted to come and go as they please.
Makes sense.
In any case, we can talk freely here. I presume you have a few questions that you wish to ask me?
Kind of god.
The almighty Shogun. I've seen her on but only a few occasions, most of them formal ceremonies. She inspires awe, commands respect, and exudes a sense of absolute authority. But as I recall, there was something else about her that struck me even more deeply. It was her almost complete lack of any emotion. In that sense, she appeared to me to be less of a ruler and more of, well, an executive official, I suppose. Focused exclusively on her single goal of implementing eternity, acting accordingly without feeling.
Just no one else fighting this vision.
The issue is this. For the vast majority of people, the Vision Hunt Decree is something that has no implications whatsoever.
You're not wrong.
After all, it is but a tiny minority of people who receive visions. Moreover, it is not unknown for visions to spark jealousy in others. Because of this, the attitude of most people towards the Vision Hunt Decree is one of indifference.
How can they be like that?
Nevertheless, in addition to us, there is also the resistance on Watatsumi Island.
Resistance? You mean—
Yes. Many who have lost or fear losing their visions have rallied together under Sangonomiya on Watatsumi Island to form a resistance group. To say a little more about Sangonomiya, historically, there has always been some conflict between them and the shogunate of Narukami Island due to their different belief systems. But I do wonder whether there may be some other agenda behind their resistance movement, beyond merely fighting the Vision Hunt decree. Of course. We have tried on numerous occasions. Unfortunately, each time a proposal to repeal the decree arrives at Tenshukaku, it is promptly vetoed by both the Tenryou Commission and the Kanjo Commission, and subsequently scrapped. They invariably adopt a stance of unconditional support for the Shogun's decisions. They have no interest in discussing anything. It almost makes one wonder whether they had a hand in the Shogun's sudden decision to issue the Vision Hunt decree.
Ooh, Paimon has a...
Oh? What would you...
Have you got a plan yet to fight...
To be honest, we do not.
What?
Please, do not forget that challenging the Vision Hunt decree is tantamount to challenging a deity. Coming to terms with that is already a difficult step to take.
So...
Well, for the moment, all we can do is try and reduce the harm that is being caused by this decree. For example, by providing vision bearers with safe refuge, or manufacturing counterfeit visions for them as a contingency measure.
You're telling Paimon that there are...
Don't underestimate the talents of the craftspeople in Hanamizaka. To the naked eye, their counterfeits are indistinguishable from the genuine article. The problem we are facing right now is that Master Masakatsu, who was providing us with counterfeit visions, has recently been arrested by the Tenryou Commission.
Darn! So they...
Yes. We knew it was not a long-term solution, and that it was only a matter of time before it would be exposed. But we cannot simply